Kev, listen to me. Do you know what is coming up? Do you? We're about to do our 100th episode of 1, 2, ooh. And I'm telling you right now, we need a mega show, bro. I'm talking pyro, fireworks, confetti cannons. I want drones spelling our name out in the parking lot like it's an arena.
My 1, 2, ooh of the month every month. It's brutal, man. It's brutal.
What do you mean?
You make me no money. You're killing me.
Be serious, bro. We deserve it. All the big shows have pyro. That stupid little bug show has pyro.
Because they make money. You have like the lowest subs of all of my shows. It's just bad, you know? Even the bug show, it just crushes you. I mean, they annihilate
lowest
you. They smash
subs?
you like to a bug.
Even
nothing
the
to
bug
them.
show is beating us, Kevin.
Compared to you.
Kevin.
You're my 1, 2, ooh.
I swear to God. Hey, I gotta go. No. Cut the music. I am pissed. Dude, what now? You know what? You know what I'm sick of? No one respects me around here. Every week, it's 8-bit Mike this, 8-bit Mike that. And meanwhile, I'm carrying this dumpster fire of a show on my back. What? And on top of that, someone took my parking spot. We don't have parking spots. I do. The blue spot. What? That's a handicap spot. It's custom. It's illegal. It's mine. You don't even have a car. That's besides the point. The principle matters. How can it be your spot if you can't even drive? I said what I said. Can we please just start the show? Fine. But after the show, we're talking about my spot. It's not my spot. And welcome back to 1, 2, ooh. And this week, wrestling delivered absolute chaos. We got John Cena making history. Dirty Dom putting on a masterclass in heat. War Games exploding across both brands. NXT producing another absolute banger. And SmackDown giving us, well, choices. And let's not forget, AEW brought it with blood and guts. So, we're going to break it all down right here on this week's episode. And before we get started, make sure you attack that subscribe button like an RKO out of nowhere so you never miss an episode of 1, 2, ooh. All right, we're done with the unnecessary plug now. Let's jump into the info for the week. Let's go, boys. We're going to start with my favorite moment of the week, and it started off on Raw. And I have to say, for me, this week's Raw felt like a love letter to wrestling fans, and it was probably just because of the way it started. We are in Boston. Triple H comes out talking about how John Cena's the GOAT, brings John out. John's going on, talking about how special this place is to him, and who interrupts the GOAT? Dirty Dom Mysterio. Now, there is no other wrestler on the roster that could interrupt John Cena in Boston. And it feels okay. It feels good. It feels right. And his reason for doing it, it's just so Dom. It was so beautiful. Comes out. He says, hey, enough of this. I was interrupted last week during my celebration. I want to know what you're going to do about it. I don't get interrupted. I interrupt old men. And boom, from that moment, I knew it was coming. They go back and forth, Dom and John. And John, you can tell he's playing the whole card of he's trying to hold back. Hey, this is Ray's son. He doesn't know any better. And then finally, Dom says it. He says, in any era, at any time, any John Cena, I could whoop your ass. And boom, Triple H doesn't just book the match. He makes it immediate. So we start the show off with Dom and Cena for the IC title. This couldn't have been better. I have been begging for the Dom Mysterio John Cena match in the final bit of John's career here. I did not expect to get it like this. And the match just absolutely delivered. This was a masterclass in good guy versus bad guy. It was just so good. Back and forth. Dom had a lot of very dominant moments. But ultimately, even with all the tricks Dom tried, the moment where he gets the steel chair again, smashes it on the mat, tries to pull that whole number, and you got John Cena just dropping straight to the ground because he shows, hey, I know how to beat this move because I was there. I know how all this works. I've seen it all. I know this stuff. And he winks over at Dom, a little call back there to R-Truth, but winking over at Dom, and that sets Dom off. And it was so good. And the back and forth between the two is perfect. This match set the tone for the night. And I really thought Dom was going to win. There were so many moments here I was like, holy crap, they're going to let Dom beat John Cena in Boston. Like that's crazy, because John even said, any other city, any other place, not in Boston. In Boston, I'm invincible. You will never beat me here. He was right. John Cena wins the match, becomes the Grand Slam champion, and it felt so great. It was such a fan-friendly moment, and this is what the WWE just needs to do more of. Like, you don't have to give us everything we want, right? But this was one of those things that you just could do it, and you did it, and it worked. It worked so well, and it's crazy because even though Dom lost, I really felt after this match, I was like, dude, Dom is a guy, bro. Like, I don't care what people think about him. I don't care what people say. Oh, he's not as good as so-and-so. Oh, he's no Eddie Guerrero. Oh, he's no Rey Mysterio. There's a very small percentage of this world that's ever going to live up to the legacy of Rey Mysterio Jr. and Eddie Guerrero. Like, it's a very small percentage of wrestlers in this world that will ever hope to even reach that. And the fact that we have those conversations with Dom in there's a reason. Like, he is better than people realize. In this match, I honestly left just going, dude, even though Dom lost, I feel like he won. I feel like he won more fans out of this than anything else. And I love the segment at the end. Feel good moment for John Cena. But then you have Dom tearing through the back. And he's furious. He's literally saying, Judgment Day wasn't there for me. I was left out there cold. So now we're dropping these seeds of what's next potentially for Dom. I'm not sure. I'm really questioning what we're going to do with John Cena with the IC title. Does he defend it at Survivor Series? Does it become something he defends at the end of the tournament now? This could be huge. Like, you could do so many things with it, but it was the right way to start the show, and it flowed through the whole show. The minute they did this, the energy through the whole show was just on fire. It was off the scales. So huge thumbs up to me. I love this match. I really am excited for what we could potentially do with the IC belt on John for these next really coming weeks. It's crazy. It's just a couple more weeks, but you have the IC belt on John. Does Dom get another shot at it before John's out, or does he go another direction? I don't know, but I am here for the ride, and I was just beyond excited for this segment. Easily my favorite segment of the week. Now, we speculated quite a bit, but this week on Raw did solidify a little more for us what's going on in War Games. I'm going to jump ahead a little bit and pull a little bit from SmackDown too, because we're already there, so I might as well include some of this. But you have CM Punk's team, which appears to be CM Punk, Cody Rhodes, Jey Uso, and Jimmy Uso. And then you have the team for the Vision, which is Logan Paul, Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed, and Drew McIntyre. Each team, I believe, still needs one more member. I'm going to sit back and say I am mind blown that LA Knight is not on Team CM Punk. And I say that because he has literally been feuding with the Vision all year long. And every time they get to these payoff matches, pay-per-view matches, big card matches, LA Knight's not on it. I don't understand it. He's over. He's the megastar. He could fit in, and it's no shade to Jimmy Uso. It really isn't. Even Jimmy Uso's in the match, and he's literally in it just because, got a call from Punk, I'm in the match. Get the hell out of here. He belongs in it, don't get me wrong, but LA Knight should honestly be the last guy on this team. But you look at all the names out there, and it's tough for me because you still have Roman Reigns. John Cena's not signed up for anything. I could see a world where it's Cena. It would make sense. And then that would frustrate me even more that they put Jimmy in it. and not LA Knight. LA Knight deserved this payoff. And now we all know, right? Like, the teams are not done. Again, I'm looking over at the Visions team, and I really only see one name that fills this team out, and it's got to be Brock Lesnar. It just makes too much sense. Put Brock over there. I think he's a dominant beast. And honestly, if they put Brock over there and John Cena's not on CM Punk's team, I think the Vision's going to go over in this match. I don't see a way that they just let Brock lose or even the Vision team lose. I think it would make more sense for them to come out on top unless you put John Cena in there. Then I see the angle for John getting his revenge on Brock. All right, on the same card here on Raw, we had the most predictable turn of all time. I think we've been talking about it now since they started their little friendship, but Nikki Bella finally betrays La Primera Stephanie Vaquer. I do think this is a fantastic first opponent for La Primera because, hey, look, I mean, as much as I may not be amped about Nikki Bella's a big name in the women's division, so I'm not going to sit here and pretend that she wasn't a big part of wrestling and, you know, still is. Like, she's still doing big stuff. She still carries that name. I think this is a huge one for Stephanie Vaquer to have as her first. All right, and then at the end of Raw, we have Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair losing the women's tag team titles to the Kabuki Warriors thanks to Nia Jackson, Lash Legend. And look, I love Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair, but I'm totally fine with these titles changing hands. The Kabuki Warriors are phenomenal. Like, Asuka and Kairi are an amazing team. They're a legit tag team. I don't mind if we pass these titles around to a couple of these teams. Heck, I don't even mind if Nia Jackson, Lash Legend pick up these titles for a little bit. I think it's great. I think it's good for the women's tag division. It gives a lot of storyline here, and there was a ton going on. And after the match is really where it all took place because Lash Legend and Nia Jax get in the ring, small stare down with the Kabuki Warriors, and then they turn around and just absolutely start crushing Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair. But that Superman music hit. Io Sky came running into the ring. And Io Sky is kind of funny when she comes out to save everyone because, dude, I love Io Sky. Io Sky is probably up there with my favorite women wrestlers of all time. She is incredible. And she just jumps in there, does that drop kick off the top, doing all of her flips all over the place. But ultimately, it's funny to watch because then you see somebody like a Lash Legend clubber, and you're like, jeez, Io is dead. Dead. And so they start beating up on her. Rhea Ripley comes out, predictable. Rhea comes out, saves the day. They all clear the ring. And what is it? War Games. All right, we're going to jump over to NXT where Tatum Paxley in the calling kicked the show off. Tatum just won that title, and she has been quite reckless with giving out title defenses. And we start the show off with really Izzy Dame coming out and just saying, hey, Tatum, we just want what's best for you. We really need you to not just hand out title shots to everyone who comes around. That's pretty reckless, and we want what's best for you. We're looking out for you. And it's crazy to watch Izzy in this role because she's so good, man. She had that moment at the pay-per-view where it looked like she may have been like she was going to strike Tatum, and that weird moment, and then JC Jane hits her and that whole thing, right? But now she's playing this card, and I like just watching her work right now, especially over these last 2 weeks. Izzy's a good babyface, man. She really is, and I love her as a heel, but she's doing a really nice job at kind of winning over the crowd, being very sympathetic, right? And you really feel you get it, and I truly feel like she is looking out for the best of Tatum. And what happens, of course, Tatum says, okay, fine, I'm going to try and listen to you guys. JC Jane comes out. Yeah, Fatal Influence now out in the ring, and they're saying, hey, you're a fighting champion. Why? I deserve a rematch. When am I going to get it? And she says, oh, I'm sorry. I just have to watch who I'm going to face after the next time because now I'm facing you. So Tatum Paxley going to face JC Jane. I think she's heading to lose the title. I'm just kind of torn between whether she's just going to drop it back to JC Jane, and then I would hope they eventually let Izzy Dame win this belt because I do think she's a phenomenal talent and deserves it. I could also see a more interesting storyline where Tatum beats JC again, and maybe something happens in that match where it's a close fall or something, and Izzy is able to save it and help Tatum. But this leads to eventually Izzy turning on Tatum and getting the shot for herself. I mean, there's already been mentions of when Tatum did the wheel She left Izzy Dame's name off there. Ricky Saints and Trick Williams in a last man standing match. This was great. The match was so good. And these two, you knew they were going to go all out, and I really felt they did. They had great back and forth. They have really good chemistry together in the ring. But I find myself at the end of this match kind of asking, like, what's next for Trick Williams? Like, I think he's ready to go to the main roster. And I don't know how many times he's going to go for the NXT title and lose, go for the NXT title and lose. He's done the babyface thing. He's done the heel thing. I think he plays well as both. I like him better as this heel Trick. I really do. And I think you could put him on the main card. And like, I wouldn't even care if you paired him with Carmelo again and they were a tag team for a little while, because it'd give Melo something to do too. Like, I've been really disappointed in Melo's call up. He needs something. I think add Trick in there, try and create something there, maybe a tag team, get them in the tag team title mix. You could do some different things with them. They're both super athletic, really fun to watch, both great on the mic. But I think it's time for Trick to move on. I hate to keep watching him chase this title and lose. But at the end of this match, the big moment, the ruler returns. Oba Femi is back and he's ready to run it again. All right, we're jumping over to SmackDown. And this week it kicks off with Io Sky and Rhea coming out, gloating, oh, we're so happy for our team. We have the best team. Alexa Bliss, Charlotte Flair, come on down. We want to share the ring with our best friends. They come out, and immediately Charlotte goes into, I can't do this. I love you, Lex. I'm your friend. I appreciate our friendship. But Rhea Ripley, I hate you. I love this. She then just walks out of the ring, apologizes, and leaves. And I'm like, this is great. Because normally in wrestling, what you get is that I'm a babyface now, so we're going to forget everything that happened in the past. And I've always had an issue with that. Because I'm like, damn, if somebody does you wrong, really wrong, or you have a feud with someone, even when you then become good, or you're heel, whatever you're doing, you should still have a problem with it. It shouldn't just be over. And we sometimes glance over that piece and we all just kind of accept it because, it's wrestling and whatever. It's silly wrestling. But I love that they're taking this and then telling a story, giving us something to care about. And it was great. She left. And what happened later that night, what we expected, the team gets beat down and absolutely annihilated because now they're outnumbered. Now it's 4-3. So I think one of two things, and I think both things are probably going to happen. I think we're going to end up at a point where Charlotte Flair returns, joins the team because of her friendship with Lexi being too strong, and I'll get past the Rhea stuff. I still hate you, but I'm not going to let my friend just get beat down like this. I'm in the match. I can see them getting there like that. And then in the match, you can have some moments where Rhea and Charlotte kind of bump into each other, maybe let it go, or there's continue the tension, which could be interesting. I also think you got to put AJ Lee on this team. If AJ Lee is back, there's one spot open. If Charlotte returns, you put AJ Lee. And on the other side, who better than Becky Lynch? Then, of course, the Vision shows up on SmackDown. You have Paul Heyman in the back asking to talk to Nick Aldis. Says, hey, we have something to discuss. It's him and Bronson Reed. And he's saying, look, I showed you the paperwork. That's the guy we're picked. We're allowed to pick anybody we want across any of the brands. And that is who we want on our team in War Games. Nick saying, I know the rules. Why would you do this to me? And who shows up? Cody Rhodes. And of course, Cody and Bronson get into it a little bit. And he says, if you want to fight, why don't you come and get a fight? And then Paul Heyman talks to him and says, well, if we're going to have a match between Bronson Reed and Cody Rhodes, it'd be a shame if that title wasn't on the line. And then they put the title on the line. And the minute they did that, I just knew what was coming. And I think everybody did, right? Like, match goes, it starts, they're going back and forth, it's a war, and Drew interferes. There's interference. Drew's clearly the member of the Vision's War Games team, and the match ends in a disqualification. And look, I think my problem is we do the no finish ending just way too many times for these shows. And I got it, man. I'm cool. I'm good with the beatdowns and things, but you can have endings to matches and do the beatdown piece. You can have finishes. It's fine. It's okay. This could have finished any number of ways. You could have had Bronson get counted out, Cody get counted out, anything. I don't care. Let's just have a real ending. We keep ending in the same way. It just kind of gets old very quickly. But I am excited for Drew to be in this match. Although I know I shouldn't be. And I am. I hope they let him be a beast. I hope he goes in there and he is just a monster of a man and train wrecking people in there. And I hope he gets to be a little bit dominant. But based on 2025, I'm sure he's there to eat the pin. All right, the final thing I want to cover is an overall breakdown of the Last Time Is Now tournament. So far, I got to say, I've been really hyped with this tournament. I think the winners make a lot of sense for the most part. You have Sheamus winning, which I love. Rusev winning, which I love. I think that makes a ton of sense. LA Knight winning, which I think makes a ton of sense as well. And then you have the Jey Uso win, which I'll get into that later on. But I was beyond hyped for the Zack Ryder return. I thought this was awesome. Even though his name had been floated through the weeks, I didn't think he was going to be the mystery opponent for LA Knight. And it was just great, man. It felt really good to see him in there. He looked excited to be there and pumped up. And it was a fun little surprise. And I think as much as I didn't enjoy this overall episode of SmackDown, I did really enjoy this match in this moment. And this tournament is giving us a lot of that. And I think, man, if that's what it does, if this is what we're going to get, is a lot of these fun surprises and blast from the past, I'm here for it. I think this is the right call. Super, super excited to see Zack Ryder in there. And I know a United States champion that was probably pretty happy to see him there too. All right, we're going to jump into our 1, 2, ooh of the week. And for me, it's an easy one this week. The Miz losing to Jey Uso. I just don't get it, man. I don't. I know everybody loves Jey, and I know the WWE is really pushing Jey. The Miz has so much story with John Cena, and with the interviews that The Miz has done recently, I was sold that he should be the final opponent. I was really into this idea, and maybe not the final opponent. And to be honest with you, I don't need The Miz to win this match. Not the match. I did need him to win this match. I don't need The Miz to win the tournament. I don't really need him to. It's okay for me if The Miz doesn't win, but I would have loved to have seen him go further in it, and you be able to tell that story of him fighting and grinding, and maybe he falls short right at the end, right? And maybe that's the whole story, but I don't think we need Jey Uso to win. I just don't. And like when Miz hit him with the skull-crushing finale, I thought that was going to be it. I would have even been fine if he did that and it was a dirty pin. He put his feet on the ropes or something, and that's how he beats Jey, and Jey could still be strong. I just don't think The Miz should have lost this match. And for me, like, it sucks because it's such a miss. It's such a big miss to not have The Miz continue in this tournament. And I hope they do something. I feel like there has to be something coming where The Miz somehow finds a way back in or finds a way to get a match with John. But yeah, this was disappointing to me. Big ooh. All right, well, that wraps up another wild week in the world of wrestling. And damn it, I loved every minute of it. But hit me up in the comments. Let me know if I got it right with the biggest 1, 2, ooh of the week. Was there a bigger miss that I didn't think about? And who do you think is going to be the last members of these War Games teams? If you haven't already, hit that like, hit me up in these comments, and smash that subscribe button so you never miss another episode of 1, 2, ooh.